Hey, welcome. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why Amazon vendor brands are rubbish at their annual negotiations with Amazon. You can tell me otherwise, but I see it happen all the time. But in this video, I'm going to give you the 3 ways that brands get it wrong, some of the pitfalls, and what you can do to maximize margins. Plus, if you stay to the end, I have got 2 bonus extras for you. But before we go any further, you might be asking, who am I and why should I be telling you what you should and shouldn't be doing? Well, my name is Chris and I am co-founder of Immersify, and we are an Amazon consultancy helping 7-8 figure vendor and seller brands. I'm also an ex-brand owner myself, so I understand what works and what doesn't, and I understand things from a brand's perspective, some of the nuances there, and also things from a consultancy and an agency perspective too. So let's dive straight in. What is the main issue? Well, brands feel trapped by the terms that they have in their JBPs, and all of that comes down to failure to prepare during their AVN. So if you're going through your AVNs, you need to watch this video to understand what you could be doing better. What do I mean by that? Well, quite often brands will have poorly aligned terms. That'll hurt their margin. The JBP that's been agreed with Amazon isn't suited, it's not a strategy, and it's more like a straitjacket. And what that means is the next 12 months, you're going to have to live with those consequences. Whatever's been locked in to those terms, you're going to have to go through, whether it's working for you or not. So what we're going to cover in this video. So the top 3 reasons why brands get AVNs wrong year after year. The first one being why reviewing last year's AVN terms is essential before negotiating, before progressing, how internal challenges within the brand should shape the AVN strategy, and why many JBPs actively work against the brand. So who is this video for? Well, it's for anyone that's running Amazon Vendor Central. So you might be a national account manager, you might be head of Amazon, maybe head of commerce, maybe digital marketing, maybe e-commerce manager. To be honest, as anyone that's walking through their AVNs right now will be able to help. So let's look at reason number 1 that brands struggle with AVNs. So believe it or not, a lot of brands don't actually review their last 12 months. How can you go forwards without looking backwards? So how did those terms that you agreed last year, how did they actually perform? So don't blindly renew your terms. Amazon will probably try to pressure you into renewing terms quickly. Don't do that. Stop, review, check your pain points, what worked, what didn't. What lessons can you learn from last year? And make sure that you always negotiate your terms annually. A lot of brands don't know that that's even a thing, but make sure that you do. That is absolutely crucial. If you take nothing else from this video, make sure that you review your terms annually and you negotiate them every single year. So reason number 2 that brands struggle. So internal challenges of the brand should shape the AVNs. What do I mean by that? Well, we've looked at the what. So what were your terms? And now we're looking at why you performed that way against those terms. So we're looking at your internal weaknesses and your strengths. Those should dictate what your AVNs, what the terms in your JBP should be. So look at and review what worked as expected. Were there any surprises in there? Were there any unexpected costs or perhaps unexpected operational stress? You need to think about the SLAs that looked fine on paper or on a spreadsheet, but perhaps in reality, they caused your business penalties. You might look at, for example, your marketing spend. Perhaps you put more investment into that over the last 12 months, and maybe that delivered a lot of extra activity and awareness, but perhaps that really damaged your profitability. Perhaps you've got thin margins within your product. These are the things that you need to be understanding why you performed that way. So look at things from a higher level. Understand where your business struggled. Look at things, for example, look at your supply chain volatility. Look at your forecasting accuracy. Understand your packaging compliance. Are there a lot of parcels coming off the production line that are getting damaged? You're going to get penalized for that. Look at your inventory imbalance. Look at your cash flow pressures. A lot of business struggle with cash flow. Typically, vendor terms are going to be 60 or 90 day payment terms. That could really be damaging your business. So review all of these things, and remember, AVNs should be reducing the pressures on your business, not amplifying them. This is your opportunity to do something about that. So reason number 3. So is your JBP a straitjacket or is it a strategy? Now you've looked at what's happened and you've understood why that's happened, but now you need to be looking at how the AVNs can play to your strengths. So the AVNs should support your growth. Your JBP should align with your priorities. It needs to be mutually beneficial for you and not just Amazon. Quite typically, Amazon will push terms that are in their favor, and this is your opportunity to make it more beneficial for you. So don't agree to commitments that you can't match. You're going to be damaging yourself. Amazon's objectives are often prioritized. Make sure you're understanding and you're seeing that, and you're taking a step back and not allowing that to happen. And do not reinforce the pain points year after year. I see this more often than you think. this is your opportunity to do something about it. So here are some key questions to ask before your AVN. So does your JBP solve your biggest challenges, or does it emphasize them? Does your JBP play to your strengths? Understand what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and make sure your JBP emphasizes your strengths. Don't, for example, accept faster lead times within your terms if your supply chain resilience is poor. But if you're really good at forecasting, then perhaps you can give some concessions towards variation tolerance. It's give and take. Okay, so poor prep for AVNs will equal a misaligned JBP. Remember this, and an AVN is your opportunity to grow. So make sure that you're reviewing it and make sure that you're going into that with your eyes open. And better terms don't always mean more growth. This is a really important one. A lot of brands will think, oh, I have to push for growth. No, because that growth might cost you. Perhaps your business isn't set up for that just yet. Think about sustainable terms and achievable terms, and actually that could be far more profitable and far less stressful for you as a business going forwards. Before we go on to the bonus extras, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support is really appreciated. The more followers we get, the more it allows us to get in front of more brands, offer more value. We just want to get out there and help as many people as we possibly can. So your support is really, really appreciated. Thank you. Now, bonus number 1. Everybody knows that McDonald's has got its own secret menu that it doesn't put on the wall. And believe it or not, Amazon has also got the same when it comes to your AVN terms. So it's up to you to understand the full spectrum of options that are available to you within your total fee. So your total fee might be anywhere between 16 and 24%. Typically, that's going to be dependent on your niche and how long you've been operating as an Amazon vendor. You're not necessarily going to get a lower fee, but you can give and take different terms to make those terms work for your business. So don't concede unnecessary terms if they're offered to you. Trade those terms for ones that work in your favor. So as I say, it's really important that you understand what terms you can use. Now, there's a lot of terms available to you. I'm not going to go through them in this video. You stay on the bonus number 2 and I'll talk about that. But you need to understand what they are. Once you understand what they are, you've understood your strengths and your weaknesses in your business, then you can start to leverage them in your favor. Okay, so let's move on to bonus number 2. So I'm going to give you a free Amazon AVN guidebook. It's in the caption below, so make sure you download that. And that's going to help you navigate the complexities of AVNs. Hopefully you're going to go into them with confidence and you're not going to give Amazon the upper hand, which is often the case. So make sure you prepare better for AVNs, have more insights into the process, and get a JBP that plays to your strengths. Now, in that guidebook, I also include a list of all the terms that are available to you, so you can check them out there. And as I say, use them to your strength. But if you still need more help, if you're not feeling very confident, or you've got more questions that this video or the guidebook doesn't answer, well, good news. We are offering some free one-to-one AVN sessions with my team. So all you need to do is to click on the scanner here and book a session with our team, and we can go through some of the things that you're not feeling confident with, offer you some advice, and hopefully you can come out of that with even more confidence and preparedness for your AVNs. So remember, preparation for your AVNs is key. Always review what happened in the previous year, understand what your terms were and how you performed against them and why you performed that way. Understand your strengths and your weaknesses as a business and get into the details. Bring your team together. So if you're a marketing team or a sales team and you're going through AVNs, bring your finance function into those meetings as well. If you don't, you might find that you've agreed and signed off to certain terms. 3 or 4 months later, finance, who hasn't been involved in those conversations, is starting to ask questions about margin or about penalty fees that are starting to come in, and nobody wants that. So bring everybody into the discussion table at an earlier stage. And if you do that, you're going to go into those AVN conversations far more confident and you're going to have the upper hand. And if you don't, Amazon will take advantage. So I hope that was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, thank you.